Hi, Warriors, and welcome to the Warriors United Summer Session of 2018. This is the season of new growth and new beginnings. We just launched an incredible new line of products to ramp up your summer fun for you, your clients, and your hostesses. We've got glowing toys, we've got remote control toys, we've got spa products to pamper you so that you feel beautiful from your face all the way down to the tips of your toes. You have a summer host special lineup and VIP special lineup that you can utilize to fill your calendar. And with the Womanizer Pro for just $49.99 as a VIP special in July, that should be an in-demand month for your date book. You have incredible summer sales and recruiting incentives to inspire you to work your business, for the perks of free products and entries to win prizes like $5,000 or a trip to Universal, a trip for two to Mexico, $20,000 keys and purple bags. This, I would like to declare, is Athena's Summer of Consistency. And to kick it off, I have asked veteran goddess, award-winning team leader, Golden Circle of Leadership recipient, past Most Admired Leader, past Goddess of the Year, winner of a trip to Bermuda, and a master manifester who popped open the $10,000 treasure box. Yes, that is Linda Norton. And Linda and I had dinner in March after her Now event, and we talked at great length about things that could make Athena's a better company. And she asked if I would consider making the summer challenge consistency-based. So being a big fan of consistency in and out of Athena's, I agreed and structured the 5K or universal incentive around consistency. In direct sales, consistency is one of the most important factors to success. A few years back, we had a direct sales expert speak to us, and she said, "You must keep the fire burning if you want to stay warm." So she asked us to envision our businesses like a wood stove in the dead of winter. So the reason you want to keep this fire burning is because it's cold outside. And if you don't keep it burning, you'll freeze. So that's a big motivation, right? And if you consistently throw a log on the fire, it keeps on burning. But if you let it go out, you must now put in all the effort of starting a new fire, which takes more time and more energy than just tossing a log on. So all that extra work could be avoided by simply keeping the fire burning. In 20 years of Athena's, I have seen many people come and go, and I can tell you that one of the success sabotaging behaviors is in fact inconsistency. So if you do a party and then don't do one for 2 to 3 months, it's like you're starting all over again. And that creates frustration and anxiety. You lose your grip on your business. You can't get into a nice groove working like that. And like going to a gym, when you haven't gone in a few weeks that turn into months, motivation wanes more and more. And that's when you suddenly feel desire to quit. So for those of you that follow me on Facebook, you know that I've been practicing DDP yoga every day for the last 412 days. Every single day, no matter how I felt, no matter how my day went, whether it was a holiday, it didn't matter. Every day. Consistent effort on that mat has transformed my body. You know, I got nice toned arms and shoulders, and my butt's gotten around her, and in my late 40s, that's a cool thing to experience. But beyond the strength, the flexibility, and the toned muscles, I've built a trust within myself that has transformed me inside. When you want something, whether it's to be fit, get out of debt, run a successful business, go back to school, whatever it is, it's consistent effort that leads to results. Now, we've all had times when we've started something and then quit, even when it was very important to us. I started and stopped DDP yoga 3 times before creating my current streak. And I can tell you that when I stopped, I began to feel really bad about myself, like I was a failure. And I don't know about you, but when I feel like a failure, I start to beat myself up. furthering the downward spiral. This is real talk here. I really wanted to be real with you. When you make a promise to yourself and then you break it, you erode your very own self-trust. When we break the promises that we make to ourselves, it's the most painful breaks of all, because enough people in our lives have broken promises to us and let us down. So when we let ourselves down, that is where the self-loathing really sets in. And what's worse is that we start to retreat from goal setting, because this little voice that has condemned us for failing is the first to emerge and say, don't even bother trying, you'll just quit anyway. It's a negative, unfulfilling way to live your life, to say the least. I share this with you because I want you to hear my struggle, which actually ultimately led to my success. So what I did before I began my streak, I was feeling pretty low and pretty weak, and that I had broken these promises to myself over and over again about my fitness goals. So I'd been beating myself up for a few months, and then I started gratitude journaling to help change my mindset. Because everything starts in your mind, everything. And once I started that process every night before bed, my attitude began to change for the better. And then I started to feel better. My new mindset prepared me for the streak. So here I am on day 492 of consistent daily gratitude journaling. I do yoga and gratitude journaling every single day consistently, because it helps me feel physically and mentally healthy. And those two things are so important to me at this stage of my life that they have become a non-negotiable priority. I want you to know that you can change bad habits, you can change your mindset, you can be consistent in your life, you can work towards your goals, no matter how many times you said you were going to before. Athena's is the environment in which you can thrive. We have superior products, awesome hostess incentives. We have sales and recruiting contests. It's all here. However, your mindset, your commitment, and what is important to you is really what matters most to your business. So here's what I'm going to ask you right now. I'm going to ask you to shut down your social media, get off of Facebook, eliminate the distractions, and lock into the learning. Linda Norton is here with a message for everyone. New Goddesses and Adoni, veterans, leaders, consistent and inconsistent. So please take this time to honor your business for the next 40 minutes and be with Linda. What an honor to be with Linda. Your first code word is consistency.
So excited to be part of the kickoff for WOW and WAR. So a couple disclaimers. I have allergies. So I have a beverage and some lozenges, and I took some honey. So I'm going to do my best not to cough through the whole call, but please bear with me. A few other disclaimers. I'd like to say, this call might not be for you. And I know that seems a weird way to start, because we assume everything is for us. Like everything is designed to meet our needs. But let me just explain. If you're already consistent, this call might not be for you. If your life is super busy and you can't even figure out how you even got on this call might not be for you. If you're just here for the code words and the swag, it's not for you. If you're new and you don't know what you don't know yet, it might not be for you. But listen, do what Jen asked. Even if you have to fake it for a little while, just listen. Maybe something will resonate. Maybe it's something you can use in the future. So I want to make sure you realize, I get it. Not all calls are designed for us. Some speakers just don't speak to us, while other people just absolutely adore them. Additionally, if you don't like quotes, this call might not be for you. So let's get started, right? So consistent action creates consistent results. And that's from Christine Kane. So let me just say, This call is about consistency. So let's talk about things that are consistent in our lives. The number one thing I think about is bills, right? If you like your electricity, if you like your internet, if you like your phone service, you consistently pay your bills. Otherwise, over time, none of that exists. So like bills are consistent, being able to pay your bills consistently is very important. So making sure that you have those funds coming in to pay those bills is, it's important because those are consistent things. Another thing that I want to kind of use as an analogy is a gym membership. So a gym membership is really easy to get. You go into a gym, you sign up, they charge you a monthly fee, and they take it out of your account whether or not you show up, right? Every month, it comes out of your account, whether or not you're going to the gym. So you can literally join a gym and never go, okay? But if you want to get healthy or fit or strong, you have to actually use the gym. Otherwise, the only thing that gets thin is your bank account. So additionally, if you're one of those people who joins a gym and before you even step foot in the gym, you've bought a new outfit, a new water bottle, new headphones, new sneakers, you have literally spent all of this money, yet you haven't even gone to the gym, right? You're not quite utilizing the gym in the right way. Then you go your first week, you push yourself to exhaustion, you can't lift your arm to brush your teeth, and then you stop going because, right? And then you have that shame because you don't end up canceling your gym membership, and then that once a month, once again, the only thing that's getting thinner is your bank account. So the great thing about this is we see this in Goddesses and Adonises, right? When they join the company, you have the people who are persistent about joining or persistent about joining the gym, and they come in and they fire through training and they buy supply orders and they buy samples and they buy their kits and they attend the BDW, and then they end up buying the goddess swag or the Adonai swag with everything on it, but they're actually not going out to do parties. They never opened their calendars and started booking parties. So they're spending all of this money and it's not coming in, which is not the design of direct sales. Direct sales is designed for you to make money. So another quote for you. You ready? If you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. Okay, so that's from the Motivational Wall. It's a website. But who does that call to, right? How many people go out and join something, begin something, do something, and you're persistent that you want to do it, but you don't have the consistency that goes along with it? Huge example. Jen in her yoga, right? How many of you have the DDP yoga DVDs? I did. I ended up giving mine away because I wasn't using it, but have them, but aren't doing it. And you see that Jen's over 400 days in because she was persistent and then she was consistent. And you can see what happens when you're persistent and consistent. So wanting to go to the gym or becoming a goddess is completely different from wanting to be healthier or having a successful, profitable business. So I'm going to talk numbers. And I know for some of you, as soon as I say the word numbers, right, you like shut down. But I'm gonna talk numbers because I want you to understand that we're told numbers often. And I'm actually just going to regurgitate some numbers that were shared with us by Nikki Keohoho in a past call a while back. So these numbers are from the 2016 census for direct sales. And the numbers are very simple, right? 20.5 million people in the world are in direct sales. And they make up $35.4 billion in sales worldwide, which are impressive numbers, right? Because you got the millions and the billions and all these commas. But I want to break that down for you because I think sometimes when we hear numbers, we regurgitate them without processing. So what these numbers tell me is if I took the amount of sales and then took the amount of people and divided it into the amount of sales, the average direct seller, according to this, does $1,726.83 a year in sales, which I think, right? You're like, wait a minute, right? That can't be right. Well, that's because we have to keep things in mind, right? We have to keep in mind the people who join the company and never do anything. We have to keep in mind the superstars who are doing six figures, and then everybody in between. So, but think about that. According to the numbers that sound just incredible, 20.5 million people in the world are in direct sales, consisting of $35.4 billion in sales. The average direct seller does $1,726.83 a year. That breaks down to about $143 a month. If you're making about 35%, almost $50 a month, right? Now, $50 a month can help you pay for things, right? You have to remember there's a tech fee, so we can take the tech fee off of that and it leaves you about $30 a month, $35. That can pay for dance classes, that can fill your tank once. That does help. It's help. But I want you to look at your teams because this might surprise you. Now, some of you are thinking, I only have one person on my team and they only do $500 a month. Oh my gosh, you are way above the industry average, right? If the industry average is $143 a month and you have only one person on your team who's doing $500 a month, you are blowing the industry average out of the water. So I pulled my numbers, and I've done this with my team and my lineage in the past, that I wanted to share with you. And this is where that consistency comes into play. So for the year of 2016, on my first line alone, they did $271,041. And that is with 38 contracted. And let me explain what contracted means. It means people who are signed up. People who have access and they show up in your back office, whether they're doing sales or not, contracted. So 38 contracted people, which means my first line's average is $7,132.66 a month, which is huge difference compared to $1,700 a month. Now, that includes 7 zeros, 7 people who were persistent that they wanted to join, but never became consistent. 7 zeros, they completed or didn't complete training and never, ever, ever did anything. If I remove those 7 zeros, that actually brings us to $8,743 a month, which breaks down to about $728 a month in sales. Still not a huge number, but 35% of that after monthly fees is about $200. What can $200 a month pay for? Okay. At my house, it could pay for my electric bill and it could pay for my daughter's piano because piano is expensive. It could also pay for dance, acro, and gymnastics. So there's a few things $200 a month can pay for. And it's a lot different than $35 a month because there's a difference in persistence and there's a difference in consistency. So I want you to look at your teams and I want you to see where you compare to the industry average. Because sometimes when they give us the numbers and we're impressed by those commas, those millions and billions, we don't look at it and do this simple math. It's just division. So look at your teams, see what your average is, see where you fall. Are you above industry average? Are you below industry average? Are you at industry average? And where do you want to be? And I can tell you, wherever you want to be, it's because you're building consistency with you, your personal sales, and that does not include my personal sales, but you, your personal sales, and your team sales. So when Jen had asked me to do this call, she asked, I asked her, is there anything specifically you'd like me to speak about? And she gave me 3 questions. So I'm going to cover question number 1. Why is consistency important when running a business? You guys ready? Hi, my name is Consistency. I'm friends with success. we should hang out a little more often than we do, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. When you're consistent, you find success, right? So the numbers above show you that. Consistency builds success, okay? $143 versus $728. Now, here's the other part where I'm going to talk about being consistent and why it's important. Once again, a long time ago, we had a speaker come in. I don't remember who it was, but they talked about a rowboat. And they talked about direct selling being a rowboat and how the oars of direct selling represent, one side represents your selling and one side represents your recruiting. And I know this is really going to upset people because some people don't like to hear the R word, recruiting, right? They just, it like literally, it was like numbers. There's the people who totally shut off at numbers. And then there's the people who totally shut off with recruiting. It's not for them. They've been burnt, whatever reason, just bear with me, right? So we experience everything. So the rowboat, right? So one oar represents your selling. And I love that I row like this, because if you actually row, this is how you row, but for some reason I row weird. So rowing, sales, recruiting. Here's the thing. If you're only doing sales and your sales are great, you're rowing in this direction. And if you're only recruiting, you're rowing in this direction. And we see it, and I've fallen victim to it, and it's because there isn't consistency. So you have the months where your sales are like awesome, right? And then your recruiting is really bad. And then it seems like all of a sudden it reverses, right? So you have like a $5,000 month where you couldn't recruit anybody. And then the next month it's like you barely qualified, but you recruited 5 people. And so what it is you're literally paddling in one direction or rowing in one direction. And then the next month you're rowing in the other direction. I'm not a big rowboat person. I do like to kayak and canoe, and literally the same thing, right? So you need to exchange those strokes. And we have people in the company who do that. We have people who have mastered sales and they've mastered recruiting. And you can see that. And here's the big thing, because long-term consistency beats short-term intensity, right? Every time. And that's when you look at your top 10 teams, it's because they've had long-term consistency. And I'm the first to admit, I haven't put my oar in the recruiting boat for quite some time. And I'm figuring out why. And we've all been there. We hit this like block, whether it's mental, whether it's psychological, whether it's emotional, but you have to work through it, right? So recruiting can be frustrating at times, but linking recruiting and sales equals mastery, okay? And here's a quote for you. It's by my favorite author, Anonymous. Mastery is the path of patient, dedicated effort without attachment to immediate results. And quite honestly, that is probably the biggest advice I can give any leader or any recruiter who's looking to become a leader, is you really have to let go of the immediate results, because we all do that. We all are so attached to these people who we think are going to be these superstars. And we've done it. We've all done it. We recruit someone who we think is just going to be amazing, right? They have all of the things that we think are just going to make them incredible team members and are just going to skyrocket you to the next level. And no lie, I did that. And my recruit's husband had a heart attack like a week in. She never even finished training. And then we recruit someone who we think is like, we try not to judge. And I think that in general, but we're like, I have no idea how this person has any time to even breathe. Like, does she shower once a week? How does this work? And they come in and they just make it work because that's who they are. Their life is just crazy and chaotic, and they thrive in it. So I just wanted to talk about numbers and talk about the R word, which I think makes a lot of people really nervous, but I think we need to talk about it. We need to talk about that it does make people uncomfortable. So I get to give a code word. You ready? It's a big word. Is is. That's my code word. And I appreciate not having a lot of pressure on the code words. So if you're just here for the swag and the code word, there's your code word. So question number 2 from Jen was, what are your tips for a consistent summer? Okay, let's omit the word summer and just replace it with a consistent business, okay? So front load your months, right? Don't book out your calendar so all of your parties are the last 2 weeks of the month, because what happens if they cancel? What happens if they just end up being low-end parties? What happens if you have no time? You have no time to hustle. You have no time to do a Facebook party. You have no time. So front load your months. Excuse me, I don't want to. Oh, Universal, my Harry Potter mug. So front load your months. Whatever your goal is in numbers of parties or sales, put them in the beginning. It gives you time to do your hustle and to hit your goal. And if you hit your goal those first 2 weeks, you can now set a new goal. So if your goal was 2K paves away, which tends to be a goal for a lot of people, and you hit 3K, you now can aim for 5K. You still have a few weeks to get that done. Be consistent with your hostesses, right? Cancellations, low sales happen to everyone, for a number of reasons. They can happen, because deaths, beautiful weather, right? We're hitting summer, and sometimes if the day's just gorgeous, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it just becomes one of these beautiful days. You get a ton of cancellations because people ended up doing something, they just didn't make it to the party. But here's the big thing. If you're consistent with your hostesses and you're doing some form of coaching in whatever way you're comfortable, or pushing yourself a little bit out of the comfort zone, you can eliminate yourself as the problem, right? Because if you can walk away from your parties and it's a low sales, low attendance, low anything, and you can tell yourself that it's nothing I did, like I maintained contact, I engaged with the customers, I did everything, you did everything and you had nothing to do with the reasons or the possible reasons it was low, you can sleep better. Because there's nothing worse than leaving a party that had a ton of potential, and the reason it had a ton of potential but never met its potential is because you failed to do the things you could do to make it a better party. So, participate in the blitzes. It's a monthly reason to be in contact with your hostesses and your customers. You can literally tell your hostesses and customers who are interested in booking a party, we do a monthly blitz every month. Even your recruits, right? The R word again. Do you mind if I contact you at the beginning of the month? Because the first Tuesday of every month is our booking blitz. And you get added incentives if you book or sign up that day. Don't just do it for the potential to win a key. Okay, once again, it's that I'm just here to get the swag bag, and I get it. Some of you are just here because you want to get the points or you want to hit your wow and more goals, and those are great reasons, because if you're already going to do it, might as well listen to the call and get it met. But if you're just getting the one party or making the calls possibly to possibly get a party, why? Why, right? Because consistency, you want to be consistent, you want to be persistent. Do it for you, do it for your business, do it so you can build a consistent business. Question number 3, how can someone who is inconsistent become consistent? Start now. If you aren't active for the month of May, yeah, you have 1 week to do so, right? You have 1 week to do 500 SV, to be active, to kick off the summer, to be entered to win, because you need to be consistent in this summer's challenge, which is awesome, right? Just being active, $500 for 4 months in a row gives you a chance to either win $5,000 or a trip to Universal, right? We, as direct sellers, tell people all the time, you can work as little or as much as you want. You can work part-time, full-time, hobbyist. Here's your chance to shine, right? Here's your chance to just do 500 SB a month, and you can have the opportunity to win something that up until now, you had to do at least 2K to be entered to win. So I'm incredibly excited for the consistency challenge. So just to break it down, $500 in the next week comes out to about $72 a day in sales. You have enough time to do a Facebook party. You have enough time to promote the new products, whether it's the skin line or whether it's the Black Magic. So Black Magic, if you have people who are your customers or hostesses who are huge power junkies, the Black Magic is for them. If they love their Hitachi wand and want something that goes internal that'll kind of do the same thing, that is your toy. So just start. If you haven't reached your goal, if you're short on your goal, if you haven't even touched the 500 SB, start today. Just start today, and you can do it. Set a goal, aim for it, go for it. Here's my favorite one. I can't contact my customers or my hostesses because my files aren't organized, and I need to get them in my database, and once they're in my database, I can give them all a call. And this is my favorite thing. If you call them, they're not going to go, oh, I'm sorry, you're not organized in the database. Can you call me back when you're organized? And they're not. I love when people are like, I need to get organized before I can do anything. No, you don't. Just do it. Just start. Here's the big thing. Lack of consistency over time is lack of interest. And we all, right? So when we stop hostess coaching, we're no longer interested in hostess coaching. When we stop booking parties, we're no longer interested in booking parties. When we stop using our product, we're no longer interested in our product. So you need to start with the persistence. You're like, okay, I'm just going to do it. She said to do it. I can do it. And if you start by being persistent and make it into a habit, it becomes consistent and you'll get success over time. So I want to talk really quickly to my recruiters and team leaders. How can you encourage your team members to work, right? This is always like, how do you get your team members to work? Include consistency in your challenges, okay? So with this challenge being a consistency challenge, start including consistency in your challenge and overlap your challenges, right? So most team leaders recognize for top sales, top recruit, however you recognize top teams, but start to do multiple months and have them overlap. So if you do, so I did a challenge, and it was March, April, May. So it was the end of the first trimester, which is where we start to see the dip, right? Because January, all new products, yay! And then as May starts to approach, we've dipped. We've started to take the dive. But May, until we get the new product, sometimes we're still in that downward mode. So if you overlap your challenges, you're now linking them. It's not, I was only active the first trimester, or I only did this. So now you have March, April, and May. And if you help them finish strong and then you help them start strong, it's easier for them to jump into Jen's challenge. So overlap them into different trimesters. Remember, there's 3 trimesters, January through April, May through August, and September through December. So include a random draw. Just like Jen did, include a random draw. So you can have a sales goal, a sales recognition, a sales challenge for your team. And I did the 3 months, and you had to hit a certain amount of sales, and you had to be consistent all 3 months. You had to be active, $500 SB all 3 months. The second part of it is you had to be active all 3 months, but in order to go into the random draw, you still had to achieve a certain sales number. It just wasn't that high number. Incentives, okay? So hearing a team member or other goddesses or Adoni talk about how their team leader doesn't give away something or give away enough, the general rule of thumb is 10%, right? So let me break that down for you. If you are on a team and you do $500 in sales a month and your team leader has 3 people on their team, they're getting paid 2% on your $500. They are making $10 on your $500. And I'm telling you that because your team leader is growing, and the more consistent workers they have and the more consistent team members they have, they'll be able to give away more things. But I think sometimes people wonder, like, well, so-and-so gives away a womanizer, or so-and-so gives away a Supreme Shave Cream. Or for myself, when my team earns a basket, I give away $100 cash. I keep the basket, I give away $100 cash. When my team earns a basket, they achieve $30,000 in SV, which means I'm roughly getting about $900 check on my first line. I get 3%. So I'm still giving away just over 10% on that $900, but it's just over, right? So please keep that in mind. The $100 prizes are great, but you don't want to do something that isn't duplicatable. Because then you start to scare people who are thinking about becoming team leaders, right? And we see that all the time. They're like, I can't do what my team leader does. I didn't give away $100 cash or in free product when I had a small budding team. As my team became consistent and as my team grew and as my check got bigger, the 10% just increased, right? So please, as a team leader and as a team member, keep that in mind. If you aren't doing $500 in a month as a team member and you're wondering why your team leader isn't giving away more, your team leader isn't getting paid off of you. If you're doing $300 in sales, they're not making anything. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying that because it's the truth. So you don't want somebody to take something out of their personal sales to give away. The money that goes to teams generally should be coming out of the money the team produces in the commission check. So be duplicatable. You want to be wise with your giveaways, and you want to make sure that your team feels like they can duplicate it and pass it on. So consistency, you want to recruit consistently, you want to do sales consistently, you want to lead consistently, and you want to make sure you're doing it from that place of enjoyable, joy. You want to make sure that you're being duplicatable in that. So that's what I have for you. I hope some part of it spoke to you and you found value in it. So happy summer selling season, and I look forward to seeing if one of you chooses 5K or a trip to Universal. Bye.
Thank you, Linda. Your request for a consistency challenge was heard and implemented. Your opinion matters, and your valuable wisdom that you shared is appreciated. Thank you for being in service to all the goddesses and Adoni of Athena's. All right, everyone. What did you think about this webinar? How are you feeling right now about consistency? I invite you to make a brief video about your feelings right now on the WOW page. There's a thread that says, share your aha moment from webinar number 1. Post your video by this Friday at 11:59 p.m. and I'm going to pick a random winner. The winner will receive a $299 booster kit. Whoa! You'll have amazing products to add to your demo, sell, use as hostess gifts, or keep for yourself. Someone's going to win. It could be you. So head over to the WOW page and share how you feel about consistency. So to submit the code words to get credit towards your spoils of war, follow the directions that were included in the email that included the link for this webinar. I have also posted them in the WOW and More Facebook pages for your convenience. Your final code word, warriors, is key. K-E-Y. I believe that consistency in your business will change you. It will create power, and passion and profits. Thank you for showing up to learn more. It means a lot. So next week's Warrior webinar stars recruiting superstar Robin Brzezinski, and I hope that you will be there to learn from this smart and savvy businesswoman. Till then, I wish you amazing sales and team building as May draws to a close. There's still plenty of time for you to hit your $500 in sales. And thank you again to Linda. If you're someone who's inconsistent, heed her very wise words. Start now. Goddess bless everybody.